What's up, I'm B and welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a quick video with a bit of an update on Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast. This is a topic that I've spoken about a few times on my channel, and I've actually been kind of compiling some things behind the scenes because I was planning on my next video about him to be a little bit more in depth and not just like, here's my opinion on the things that he's done, and really kind of going in and showing you exactly why myself and so many other people have issues with the way that he behaves and the way that he conducts himself. But something happened last week that just needs to be talked about because it's absolutely not okay. Disliking Josh is a personal thing. It's subjective. Everyone has their own opinion and they are entitled to have it. So while his content isn't really my cup of tea, it's not the thing that I enjoy watching, that doesn't mean that there aren't other people who really like him. Just because I think something that he's done is gross or uncalled for or harsh or crossing a line doesn't mean that other people will automatically feel that way. But there are a few things that when a creator does them, they are just plain unacceptable. They are things that you should not do and you need to be called out for them. And Josh did one of those things last week. He doxed a creator that he's been having beef with by revealing their name. Essentially, the story in a nutshell is that there is another creator named APOC who has been very loud and very vocal about the issues that he has with Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast. He has made videos about this. They've even had personal interactions that were not the greatest. And Josh doesn't really address people that have an issue with him. He just kind of makes blanket statements about, oh, the detractors, the haters. He doesn't really give a lot of airtime to people that have a problem with him unless it's that one top 1% MLMer who roasted him that he reacted to and he loved because she was very attractive in his eyes and he thought she was thick. And so we can ignore the fact that she's friends with mommy vloggers and the fact that she's in an MLM and she's successful, which means she is preying on other people in order to be successful. We have to ignore all that because she roasted me and it's funny.
I guess, I don't know if I'm a part of the whole kid exploiting group. I don't know, but I just thought I was posting pictures of
I don't know if you are. I know that she is part of Airbon or Arbon or whatever that's called, and she's a top tier 1% MLMer. And you guys know how I feel about that. But in the spirit of snarkiness and the spirit of roast, we got to leave that behind. It's not about that. It's about somebody is stepping up to roast the dad of YouTube. And I got to give them respect.
Very thick.
thick.
Now, I got to point this out. When I say thick, I mean like in a really good way. I like thick women. I don't know how to say that. Like, I don't like tiny sticks. I don't know. So when I say thick, that's to me, that's compliments. It's not thick, T-I-C-K. It's T-H-I-C-C. So thick is a compliment. It just means that you're full-bodied and healthy.
You know, those are the things that he addresses. But when people have legitimate, valid concerns, he just kind of brushes them under the rug. He tends to delete a lot of people's comments. I know for one, Erica Moans, she has her own channel. And she left a comment related to this topic on Josh's community tab, and she took a screenshot, and when I went to go look for that comment on his community tab, it was gone. So something Josh did a few months ago was put a video out with a compilation of a bunch of clips from APOC's channel that were essentially, from what I could gather, meant to discredit APOC's criticism of the Dad Challenge podcast. And now, if you didn't do any further digging into that topic, Josh's attempt to do this would be successful, because I saw that video and I was like, okay, so this APOC guy is criticizing Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast, but he said all of these things that, you know, are not great either. So, okay, but knowing Josh, I thought there's probably more to the story, and I did some digging into it, and APOC did a video debunking everything, saying, you know, these clips were from this long ago. This clip was taken out of context, and basically just going through everything and explaining what happened, where things were taken out of context and where things that he said and did were not okay, and taking accountability for them, which is kind of a shocking concept for people on the internet, it seems.
But anyways, let's just get to this messy, highly edited out of context video. And he also thinks that talking about the appearance of women and their breast sizes, brings awareness to child exploitation. Make it make sense. The only thing she probably misses from the gym is when 16-year-old boys stare at a horrible boob job. But I'm not really sure why. Those things look like she grabbed 2 plastic balls from the Playland ball pit at McDonald's and taped them to her chest. Okay, so these 2 clips are almost 2 years apart. That means almost 2 years for me to grow, and not to say that sort of thing. You won't find anything like this actively on my channel right now, which is why he had to go all the way back 2 years ago to find it. But you will still find that type of cringe on DCP's channel. And again, I was trying to be an edgelord, trying to use out-of-pocket comedy. But to be honest, I don't even really think this way. I just thought this was high-tier commentary, but learned from others and my community that this is not the way to be. Which, to be honest, I already knew. It's just that I was, again, trying to be an edgelord. But if you have been here for a while, you already know I addressed my old content before, denouncing it all and still doing so.
So anyway, Josh clearly has an issue with APOC. Something about APOC gets under Josh's skin, and they did have a bit of an incident where one of Josh's old mods shared Josh's address with APOC. APOC sent it to Josh, and then later provided the context that it was provided by an ex-mod, and Josh should probably be aware of that. All that's to say, the back and forth between Josh and APOC has gone on for a while now, but last weekend, Josh set up a premiere of a video that contained a dox of APOC. The premiere was scheduled, but it got pulled before the video actually premiered, and Josh has not said a single word about it since then. APOC does not share his full name on his channel, and Josh knows that. Josh must have done some digging, must have done some asking. I don't know how he got this thing, but he did, and he made the choice to make a title that contained someone else's private personal information that was published for malicious intent. And the most infuriating part is that only the people who have criticized Josh in the past are talking about this. His subscribers aren't asking about it. He didn't mention anything. It's not on like a Reddit forum anywhere, which I've been searching for it. And so I feel like this is a situation where it's really easy for people to be like, well, did it actually happen? Because like you don't have clips of the video. Yeah, because he pulled the video before it happened, but I've spoken to several people who said that they saw this in real time. And so it's just really frustrating that Josh has this fan base of super loyal followers who are not going to question him on this. They're not going to call him on his crap, and the ones that do are going to get blocked and deleted. And another really frustrating part is that this is not the first time Josh has done something like this. In my last video about Josh, I talked about how he doxed Bits of Bree's street address. He literally showed Bits of Bree's street on Google Maps in a video that he pre-recorded, edited, and published, and people called him out on it, and so it was something that he couldn't lie about unless he wanted to delete the entire video. And what he ended up doing was blurring the part that shows her street name, and then deciding he wanted to delete that part from his video, so he unblurred it because YouTube wouldn't let him delete that clip with the blur on, and then cut the clip. But the thing is, the entire time he was doing this whole editing, processing, trying to make it better, he left it public. The video was left public while it was processing, because why? Because views are more important to Josh. Because if he put this video on private, that would mess with his standing in the algorithm. That video would flop once he put it back public because it would have been hours, and YouTube would say, oh, this has been public for this many hours and only this many people have watched it, so it's a bad video, we're not going to recommend it. And that is the thing that matters to Josh, more so than protecting the privacy of, first and foremost, a human being, but also a human being who is a mother and has children living in her home. And sure, Josh apologized for this, but he apologized for it in the most juvenile way I have ever heard, which is, so Bits of Brie is terrible, right? She's done all these terrible things. She's done this, she's done that, she did X, she did Y, but I did this thing, and so I need to apologize. I just wanted to see how close Target was to her house.
Now, Bits may not be the worst of them all, okay? She's probably one of the most vanilla of them all, but she's done her fair share of lying and of other things like taking advantage of her fans multiple ways, like the $1,000 course that I looked at that was garbage, that have, I think, 165 people in this thing. So if she made $1,000 for per 165, it's $165,000 she made. Okay, now I'm not saying that's what she made. She might have charged less, gave coupon codes to others, but she made, I want to say, over $100,000 off these people to make a video that didn't get them anywhere, that did nothing for them. And I think that's taking advantage of people just like MLMs. Thank God she's not an MLM. But yes, she does use her kids for advertising. She doesn't use them as much, and I will admit that. Yes, I think she did move to Hawaii to escape this ratio she was receiving, which was ridiculous to me. Just should have taken the ratio. If you're going to travel during COVID, whatever, just travel during COVID. We're going to snark on you no matter what, so just don't buy $1 million trailer. This is probably not the answer. They were going to buy a house that was about $900,000 and then instead bought this trailer in Hawaii, which I get you want to live in Hawaii. Anyway, all that to say is that Brie is not innocent and she comes across like, woe is me, I'm sad. But you know what? I actually want to walk you through this video, through some parts of it, and then I'll walk you through another video she just did recently. We'll talk about it. But before I get to that, I do want to apologize to Bits of Brie, Brianna K, that I'm sorry that I put your house on YouTube. I got called out by some people that are close to me for doing it. I don't care what the other people say. But it's not an excuse, but I didn't see her, I honestly truly didn't see her name of the road on the street name on the thing. It's just an oversight. My bad. I apologize. I blurted it out instantly as soon as someone called me out on it, and then I deleted it since. I deleted that whole part. It was inappropriate. I should not have done it, and I apologize to Brianna. Okay, it wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to do it, and now I see it, and I will never do it again. I basically wanted to see how far Target was from my house.
It's like when your boyfriend in college cheats on you. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, but you were busy. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, you were like busy and you were mean to me earlier that day. And like, maybe if I got it from you, I wouldn't have to go somewhere else and get it. Like, I just want to feel loved. I just want to feel wanted. And you don't give me that. That's the exact same feeling that you get from this apology. In any case, this is starting to become a pattern of behavior, and it's one that I find extremely disturbing and unacceptable. We can all have our own opinions on different content creators. We can like each other, we can hate each other, we can make videos about each other and calling each other out. But at the end of the day, you do not need to cross the line into someone's personal life, into sharing that information. We should respect another human being's basic right to privacy. It's really disturbing to me that Josh not only apparently had some kind of video, I don't know what the video was. Maybe it was 5 seconds of him like screaming into his swear pillow that he just used as like, I'm uploading this video so I can set the premiere. Maybe he didn't even have anything that he was going to use in everything you need to know about that video. But the fact that he uploaded some kind of video and put that title out, intentionally typed out a title which was sharing someone's private information, is really upsetting. And Josh needs to answer for that. He needs to explain why he thought that was okay. He needs to take a step back because I've seen certain behaviors in him that are pretty disturbing, certain things that make me feel like this is kind of a volatile person and someone that might be kind of scary to know. And honestly, like, I just had to check myself right there and be like, B, are you being dramatic? Like, are you doing this because it's a YouTube video and like, you want to play up the dramatics? But no, his actions are not okay. His actions are somewhat erratic sometimes. Definitely not all the time. I'm not sitting here thinking that he's like running amok 24/7, but he doxed Bits of Brie. He doxed APOC. I saw this in an APOC video. He has multiple clips talking about how he's going to go picket the Stauffer's house. Me and my people, we're going to go down there and we're going to stand outside your house. We're going to picket. And he also talks about how the Stauffer's adopted child that they moved to be with a different family, that new family has had to block Josh multiple times because he was harassing them. That's not okay. And I get it. People like Josh. They think he's funny. They think the snark is amazing. But he has a really hard time being brought back down to planet Earth. He has a hard time being checked. And he has an audience full of 100,000 people who let him get away with this. They don't check him on a daily basis, and he's letting it get to his head. I've had a lot of people leave comments on videos, not just about Josh, but on like other people that I've criticized, saying things like, well, why wouldn't you just approach them personally? Why wouldn't you DM them about this? Or even people saying, I think a one-on-one conversation between you and this person would be interesting. That would be cool if that happened. And I totally get it. And I just want to respond to all of those comments in general by saying that I would 100% have a conversation with any person I have made videos about. I think conversation is a really powerful tool, whether it's on camera or off camera, and you're just talking to somebody like face to face or, Zoom to Zoom, just being humans with each other and being like, yo, what was up with that? Like, what were you thinking? What was the motivation behind that? I can't think of any motivation that would be justified behind sharing somebody's private information, but you just ask the question and maybe they'll realize, wow, I've been out of line. Anyway, the point of all that is to say that I did DM Josh. I sent him a message a few days ago and he hasn't responded yet, but he also hasn't seen it. I was under the impression that he did not know who I was. And so I was like, okay, he probably gets a lot of DMs, but maybe if he sees this one, he'll respond because he probably doesn't know who I am. And so, I worded it in a way where it hopefully wouldn't come off as attacking, but it would be like, I don't agree with you, but I would love to understand why you did this, or if, see if you can give me any sort of explanation that would justify this behavior. There's not, but, you have to approach people in a way that doesn't feel like you're attacking them if you want to get a response. Although I did that with Cruz and I did that with Josh and I haven't gotten anything back. But anyway, the point is, I thought, he probably doesn't know who I am. Maybe he'll get back to me. And then I saw a video clip from a few months back that proves that Josh has definitely, at the very least, seen my Instagram or YouTube photo because it was included in a story that he made. So even if he does end up seeing it, I am not hopeful that I will get a response. But should Josh respond and give an explanation, I would 100% have a conversation with him and I would bring the results back to you. But not sure how likely that's going to be. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I feel like people really need to talk about this. There have been a decent amount of people talking about the Bits of Brie situation, and now we need to also talk about the APOC situation. We need to not let this just get swept under the rug. Like I said, Josh has a massive army behind him of people that will not call him on his crap. And that can get real unhealthy real fast, and it's already on its way down that path. If you see this video, I definitely don't want you to send Josh any hate. I don't want you to, be vitriolic in his comments section. But if you feel so inclined, maybe just ask him, hey, what was up with that premiere that got pulled? That was kind of weird. Was that somebody's private information? And maybe if enough people ask about it, more people will talk about it, and maybe it'll eventually get addressed. I know that I am a little bit more optimistic than most people. What can I say? My glass is half full and it's got a few shots of vodka in it, which I know that Josh would hate. But hey, to each their own. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below, and while you are doing that, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel, that would be incredible. And if you're subscribed already, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you, and I love being able to just sit here, hang out with you, and talk about whatever. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one.